This is our masterclass on cooking Chinese plant-based meals that are extremely healthy and equally delicious. We're going to learn how a master chef works with mushrooms, fungi, tofu, bean curd, legumes, grains, and all kinds of vegetables to craft the tastiest three-course meal. Now let's find out what's on the menu.
一個飯，個飯咧就係用啲糙米同埋綠豆嚟一齊煮呢個糙米飯嚇，同埋一個咧就係用豆腐、粟米、雞髀菇同紅蘿蔔咁做埋呢個好營養嘅湯嚇。
For our third course, my dad's making a stir-fried medley of mushrooms, bean curd, and vegetables mixed in with a simple curry and coconut milk sauce and topped with cashews.
而家咧又教大家點樣浸嗰啲雲耳嗬，係咪？俾啲凍水洗嗰個層，然後俾啲暖水，深40度嘅暖水浸住佢，用乾嘅雲耳做1/4嘅安士就足夠咁多㗎啦嚇。浸開之後好大塊啦，或者你唔想浸嘅，你可以有啲濕嘅賣。做完呢個之後咧，我就要洗米咯喎。呢個就係日本嘅米嚟嘅，煮食起嚟佢冇咁硬，嗰啲就係日本嘅米嚇。我用12個安士，一杯係6個安士咁樣嚇。咁樣嘅份量咧就足夠3個人食㗎啦嚇。或者斬晒佢。
We'll wash the rice 3 times. We have the full written recipe for this 3-course meal on mealwithlao.com. Click the link in our description to check it out.
糙米因為啱咧就係嗰粒谷啱甩咗個殼出嚟，成粒嘅喺度，佢就有保持嗰個全部嘅營養喺度，所以佢營養價值就係咁高啦。嗱，煮糙米飯咧，唔好一下洗米就跟住煮嘅喎，嗰啲料浸一浸佢先，浸佢10分鐘先至煮河，浸10分鐘。2杯米，我用4杯水嚟煮個飯，係一杯米係6安士水咁上下，一杯米。
Add 24 ounces of warm water to 12 ounces of brown rice and soak for 10 minutes. If you're wondering why brown rice instead of white rice, it's in large part thanks to our collaboration with Asian Health Services on healthier eating and plant-based cooking. I got to sit down with Dr. Christina Ng, who's been working with Asian Health Services for the past 27 years. We're not necessarily trying to convert people to being vegetarians or vegans with this video, but it's just like, if you want to eat more plants, how do you do that?
Eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, more fiber, and less processed foods really improves your health and prevents a lot of diseases. Everyone has their own individual risks for various diseases, but the one thing we can all do is make positive changes to our diet and lifestyle.
浸佢10分鐘先至開火煮嚇，睇睇呢度，呢個去咗殼嘅綠豆啦。呢度係12安士嘅米，係我用3個安士，我都係俾半杯咁上下啦。
We'll also wash the 3 ounces of mung beans 3 times.
首先浸一浸佢，啲綠豆殼比較厚啲嘅，咁樣煮出嚟咧，啲殼咧就冇咁好食㗎啦，有殼嘅就，好似我哋平時包餡包粽都係用呢隻綠豆嚟包，係冇殼嘅嗬。
Many studies show that at least 9 out of 10 Americans are not eating enough fiber, which probably applies to you. This is why we're blending brown rice and mung beans, because they both have way more fiber than white rice. In this video, we're doing brown rice with mung bean. Can you talk about why that's more ideal than just a bowl of plain white rice?
Well, the white rice is refined, like Dr. Lowe said, and all of the outer husk is gone, so it's absorbed right away. It's super easily digested. So adding the mung bean to the grain adds fiber, and then that slows the absorption. And since the recipe also has brown rice, that also has more fiber.
Mung beans also provide protein, which along with fiber helps you feel more full and prevents against harmful spikes in blood sugar.
So this slows the absorption of the glucose so that you have that nice, even, sustained level of glucose going to your brain.
就咁擺喺度，停啲水，滴低嗰啲糙米飯煮咗佢10分鐘之後咧，先至再落，唔係一齊煮嘅。趁呢個時間咧，我就可以準備湯嘅材料啦。呢個係雞髀菇。
We're using half of the oyster mushroom for the soup and the other half for the stir fry. Rinse it briefly in water.
呢條菇係4個安士嘅，粟米一條，大條啲多啲又冇乜所謂。呢個粟米係8個安士，係咪上下㗎？呢個洗乾淨㗎啦。同埋咧紅蘿蔔啦，紅蘿蔔都係俾4安士落就得㗎啦。咁先炒紅蘿蔔先嗬。
Adults should aim for an average of 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day because a high fiber diet improves the gut-brain axis, where hormones produced in your intestines actually travel through the blood to your brain and can affect your thinking and your mood.
唔好曬嚿，得斜斜地切佢嗬。
We have a couple thousand different bacteria living in our intestines, and this complex community is called the microbiome. The foods we eat encourage different types of bacteria to grow.
粟米咧就又係切嘅一嚿嚿嚇。
Each person's microbiome will be different depending on what they eat. Eating highly processed foods such as fast food, packaged snacks, refined sugar, processed meats encourages the growth of bacteria that create inflammation and cause a leaky gut, which damages the lining of the intestines so that toxins can enter and interfere with the absorption of essential nutrients. So this inflammation affects the entire body, from your brain to your heart to your joints and your skin.
呢個係菇嚟㗎，跟住啲菇嗱，一片片嚇。
Cut this into 3 crosswise sections, then slice each into 1/4-inch thick pieces lengthwise.
Luckily, we can improve our microbiome by eating a diet rich in fiber, fruits and vegetables and whole grains, because these are the foods that the good bacteria like to eat and grow. And so they'll create more of the good hormones that will go to your brain and get rid of the fuzzy brain and brain fog.
Next, we'll prepare the shimeji mushrooms.
呢個係一盒係4個安士嘅，我就切咗個根之後咧，都係3個安士咁上下啦。將嗰啲根切咗佢，嗰個水擺喺度嗬。
We'll let these soak in a bowl of cold water while we prepare the tofu.
呢個咧係豆腐中等硬嘅，呢個豆腐咧係14安士嘅嗬。你可以用啲硬豆腐，最好就唔好用嗰啲太過滑嗰啲豆腐。太滑嘅豆腐咧，佢會容易煮爛咗。
Remove the tofu from its packaging and drain out the water, then rinse it with clean water and cut into large cubes.
豆腐咧喺中間俾佢先，
Slice horizontally with a knife sideways.
然之後咧呢度切咗4下，
Slice the tofu lengthwise, then cut each half again to make 4 equal pieces.
呢度咧切5下。
Finally, slice the tofu horizontally into 5 equal parts.
啊，係咁啦，俾呢個裝翻佢。咁煮嘅時候咧，就俾落去煮就 OK 啦。
Before we move on to the stir-fry ingredients, my dad's taking the shimeji mushrooms out of the water and setting them aside. Let's say you're not like tracking calories using a food tracker. How do you know that you're getting at least 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day?
Well, one tip will be your bowel movements. If you're going regularly, that's a good sign. On the contrary, if you're eating all meat and no vegetables, your stool will take much longer time to come out, increasing the contact time of the waste products with your intestines because you're lacking the fiber to push it through.
This is another reason for a fiber-rich, plant-based diet. When stool sits in the colon for too long, harmful byproducts have more time to irritate the lining, increasing your risk of colon cancer.
嗱，嗰啲炒菜材料度啦，以蛋白為主嘅，呢個係個五香豆腐乾，
To prepare the stir-fry ingredients, we'll begin by giving the dried bean curd a quick rinse.
呢個鮮冬菇嚟嘅，4個安士。
Remove the stems of the fresh shiitake mushrooms, then give them a wash.
咁炒咧就濕嗰個乾嘅嚇，我先洗佢嚇，洗完之後咧切咗佢，切片嚇，又唔好太薄嚇，一個睇4下5下就夠啦。
With that said, the slices should be about ½ inch thick. I guess apart from fiber, there's also other benefits, I'm assuming, just incorporating more plants into your diet, right?
Many benefits. Animal products have cholesterol, plants do not. Heart attacks and strokes are caused by hardening and clogging of the arteries, which often occurs if you have high cholesterol and inflammation together. But if you eat foods that have healthy fats, like olive oil, avocados, these can make your blood vessels softer and more pliable and less likely to clog. And whole grains like oatmeal and brown rice also attach to the bile acids, so you're not absorbing as much cholesterol.
呢個咧就雞髀菇嚟㗎啦，打橫切嚇。
Slice the remaining half of the king oyster mushrooms diagonally into ½ inch thick pieces.
呢個紅蘿蔔咧切咗佢，啲片片嘅切咗佢。
We're also cutting 2 ounces of carrots diagonally, this time into ½ inch thick pieces.
五香豆乾再切片啊，兩嚿豆腐4個安士咁上下。
Cut the bean curd into ½ inch thick slices. For the layman, why is inflammation so bad?
Inflammation affects every cell in your body and it lowers your immune response. That's why people who have these autoimmune diseases, sometimes they're helped by eating a better diet.
五香豆乾啊，啲豆腐通過壓縮嗰啲質出嚟，另外俾啲佢用啲香料嚟醃製過個甜豆咧，就洗佢呵。 呢啲糖尾咧搣咗佢嚇，呢係有啲根喺度會韌噶嘛嚇。
Grasp the pointed end of the pod, pinch it off, then pull the string down the length.
你可以咁樣調轉嚟就得，不過通常順住嘅次序就係咁咯搣，但係調轉咧佢就未必係搣得成條出嚟啦。佢喺呢邊咧搣咧佢就順住嘅咧，佢就成條搣啦，成條得啦。仲咧呢個係雙喜菇嚟㗎。
Next, trim the roots off the shimeji mushrooms and rinse them.
Eating fiber-rich foods helps you maintain a healthy body weight because it makes you feel full longer so that you're not reaching for snacks or overeating. You have to chew longer when your food has more fiber. So this gives your brain a chance to catch up and receive the signal from your gut that you're full.
That makes sense. So having more fiber gives you the sense that you're satiated.
擺埋呢隻菇到呢度隔離得啦嚇。
After draining the shimeji mushrooms, we'll give the rehydrated cloud ear fungus a quick rinse as well.
As for protein, do you have a recommended level of intake per day?
It's usually 1 gram per kilogram of weight.
鹽嘅大可以搣開咁得，唔使切啦，你可以搣開得㗎啦。西蘭就已經洗乾淨㗎啦嚇。
Now cut the broccoli into smaller pieces. Pro tip, never slice through the florets.
切咗花咪碎晒咯，指上嚟咪唔得嗱，中間啲梗喺度梗嗰度嗱。 搣咗佢嚇，呢度咧係4個安士，咁煮出嚟好大碟噶啦，就起碼夠2-3個人食噶啦嚇。呢個料頭薑啦、蒜。
Next, we'll prepare the aromatics. Smash and peel the garlic.
係2粒蒜頭，切片炒，切咗個頂佢。
Discard the ends and cut into 1/4-inch thick slices.
薑咧就都係切片嚟。 係1/3個安士上去，唔使太多，切片得啦。
Slice a 1/3 ounce of ginger, then cut the slices in half. We'll set those aside and measure out 4 ounces of cashew nuts.
OK， 嗱個材料準備好晒之後咧，就開始煮飯啦嚇。有一撳掣煮飯嚇。通常呢啲米咧，糙米咧，煮嘅時間大概係35至40分鐘咁上下先熟嘅嚇。嗰啲綠豆咧。 就唔好話一齊輪埋一齊煮，撈埋一齊煮咧，嗰啲綠豆就全部化曬晒，變成嗰啲豆沙咁啦。知道滾咗之後咧，10分鐘先俾啲綠豆落去開始煲湯，我今日係用8杯水咁上下嘅水嚟煲呢個湯用滾水快啲呢個份量啦，就隨你，又唔一定話好似按照我咁俾8杯水幾杯水，你總你自己隨量。 你中意自己多就多啲，少啲少啲，呢個冇乜一定。好啦，俾水之後咧，開火。
Pro tip number 2: boil your soup with corn.
先俾啲粟米落去先煲佢10零分鐘，滾10零分鐘先至俾其他嘢落去。咁啲粟米咧，佢嘅甜味咧就釋放晒出嚟啦
你唔使等住滾先加落。
唔使呢啲煲湯唔使啲菜末蘿蔔俾埋落去滾一陣間，先至再俾嗰啲豆腐其他嘢落去啲水滾個10分鐘，得粟米出味，咁啲湯就靚啦。其他嘢唔使煮好耐，就著係啲粟米啫。猛火煮滾先至收中火，煮好湯就跟住之後煮呢個菜，煮好菜咧，啲飯就熟啦。呢個時間就啱啱好啦。
To reiterate, we'll bring the pot to a boil on high heat. Once boiling, reduce to medium and cook for 10 minutes. Since the lid is vibrating, my dad's opening the lid partially.
湯我哋而家可以俾嗰啲其他材料啲紅蘿蔔同埋啲粟米煲出咗味啦而家俾你豆腐落去。
We'll give it a quick stir and bring it back to a boil over high heat.
滾咗之後咧，就俾埋啲2樣嘅菇上去溫大火，嗰啲飯嘢滾咗啦再滾佢10分鐘，就再落啲綠豆落去。滾咗，俾埋啲菇落去跟住嗰啲紅喜菇，好啦，滾就得噶啦。
Stir the mushrooms around, then cover the pot and bring it back to a boil on high heat.
好啦，滾啦。閂最慢火，俾熱夠味啦。我就俾一個茶匙嘅鹽上去唔使太鹹俾半個茶匙糖，後佢調一調，中和下啲味道，就唔加其他調味料啦，即係鹽同糖，咁就足夠啦。啲粟米咧，煲出嘅味道咧非常靚 好啦，新火，我哋而家試試個味道喎。呢個純味道啊，啊，純天然嘅，冇其他。正。湯就煲好咗啦。嗱，而家咧就俾個碗上起佢嚇，俾少少橄欖油上去，頭先都唔俾咩？個茶匙夠少少啫，味香啲咯。
Your immune system can be low, or it's affected by many things, like getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, getting enough exercise, controlling your stress, and having social interaction, and avoiding chemicals like alcohol, tobacco, drugs. People are always in flux, but if you're having issues with many of those areas, your immune system will be low and you'll be susceptible to getting sick.
So diet is kind of reducing your inflammation among many things. So it's like you would say it's a pretty critical lever.
Yes.
啱一鍋啊！而家咧俾埋啲綠豆上去嚇，攪佢，擺喺面上得㗎啦嚇。喺面上熟咗之後先至撈啊嘛，咁得㗎啦。
So there's really like two levels to it. One is just you just use brown rice instead of white rice. So that's like one improvement right there. The second improvement is you're adding a legume like mung bean to the rice. So it could be white rice, brown rice, but just adding it is better than not.
Yes, and people can come up with their own mix. Like I really like brown rice with quinoa, or I'll mix red rice with brown rice. You could either have like little jars on your counter and make your own mix depending on how you're feeling, or you can make one big mix of what you like so that it's easy.
仲有10零分鐘就飯得㗎啦。而家咧就炒埋呢個餸先嚇。嗰餸咧首先飛水先啊，整啲菜飛水。
We'll begin by heating the wok on high, then add boiling water.
少少鹽上去，啲茶匙鹽。
Stir in the salt, then begin adding the broccoli, dried bean curd, and carrot to the wok.
啲西擺落去先，豆乾。俾條紅蘿蔔落去。
Give everything another stir.
因為滾咗，咁倒埋晒，全部倒晒落去就得㗎啦。
We'll cover the wok and cook on high heat until the water comes back to a boil.
好啦，滾。
Once boiling, we'll add all the mushrooms as well.
估咪落去，落去。
We'll stir the ingredients thoroughly, then add the snow peas in. One more stir, then cover the wok and bring everything to a boil one last time.
呢樣要猛火先啦。好啦，滾啦，滾就得㗎啦。留起佢。
After about a minute and a half, we'll transfer everything into a colander to drain.
Is it true you should try to not eat the same exact ingredient over and over and over? You should have a diversity of what you're putting on your plate.
You should eat a rainbow because every different color has different nutrients. And I think a reason why we want to eat more plants as opposed to that big bowl of carbs is because plants help in regulating the blood sugar. Your sugar actually dips lower than it would have if you had eaten just a more fiber whole grain diet.
Next, we'll discard the water from the wok and give it a quick wipe, then reheat on high.
開火，炒餸。
While the wok heats up, we'll prepare the starch slurry with 1 teaspoon of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of cold water.
火啲嚇唔使咁猛。如果俾橄欖油一個湯匙，
With the heat reduced to medium, add a tablespoon of olive oil to the wok.
啷佢嚇，薑蒜俾落去。
We'll let the ginger and garlic bloom for about 20 to 30 seconds, then set the heat to high.
大火。OK。
Toss the blanched ingredients and cook on high heat for about 20 seconds. My dad's adding 2 teaspoons of curry powder to the wok.
啲咖喱要炒出嘅，啲咖喱要炒出嘅香味係嘛？
We also used curry powder, but can you just talk about why it's important to use a variety of herbs and spices for seasonings?
Well, they're good to add flavor. Turmeric is a yellow spice in curry, and that is anti-inflammatory, as is ginger, and helps with digestion and nausea, so pregnant women will eat ginger. Garlic is good for your cardiovascular health.
2個湯匙椰汁。
Stir and toss everything to distribute the flavors.
好啦，開慢啲火，俾鹽，大半個茶匙鹽，唔好太鹹，一個茶匙糖嚇，
Set the heat to low and add seasoning to the stir fry. Toss for another 20 to 30 seconds.
係啦，聞到香味啦。聞嗰啲，哇！
Next, we'll give the curry a slur and add another 2 tablespoons of water to it. Pour it all into the wok and toss everything together.
好啦，閂火先，最尾加少少油上去，半個湯匙。好啦，咁樣試一試嘅味道嚇。嗱，凍咗先，凍先。咖喱味好爽啊嘛。有椰汁，咖喱配椰汁，咁嘅味道咧就好味啦。
My dad's adding an extra 2 tablespoons of coconut milk to the stir fry.
好啦，而家上碟。
We'll plate the stir fry and garnish with our cashews.
呢個腰果咧，我哋係以健康為主嘅，就冇鹽嘅，唔鹹嘅，就喺 Costco 買嘅啫。呢啲都唔需要一齊炒嘅，因為炒就爛晒㗎啦。
In general, nuts are one of the quickest shortcuts to adding texture to a dish, along with fiber, protein, healthy fats, and a lot of other nutrients. Before my dad puts the finishing touches on our 3-course meal, Dr. Ng has one final gem for us for a healthier diet.
Can you talk about how to make it more of a habit, how to make it easier to do the things that we're recommending?
Everything is baby steps. You know, we're not asking people to become a vegetarian overnight. We're just giving people information, and then they can make their own decisions on what changes they feel like they could adopt or are acceptable to them. And the other thing is really being mindful of what you're eating. So if you really enjoy whatever it is, I don't want to say, just enjoy it instead of saying, oh, I was bad, I shouldn't have eaten that, oh, I ate that. Just own it, but then eat it with a salad, or the next meal will be something else that is healthy. What you eat for 1 week or 1 year is not really going to make a big difference. It's really what you eat over all the years and decades that really affects your life and your health. And so one day doesn't matter, but it's just which way are you going to go, more towards growth or more towards decay?
Woo! That was a gem right there. I love that.
好，朋友們，湯煮咗，菜炒好咗，呢個飯咧，見到一個嗱上邊啲綠豆嗱，可以打橫佢，咁樣成粒粒佢睇到啊嘛，係咪？咁撈勻佢啦，咁咪有飯有綠豆咯，係嘛？淨係醋米咧就冇唔好食啊，佢就另外一種味道啦，
幾靚啊！
係嘛？首先咧，我喺度多謝阿健社營養師嚟提供個營養價值俾我做呢個視頻。呢個視頻咧就有醋米飯加綠豆，另外一個咧個湯咧叫粟米、蘑菇同埋呢個豆腐。呢個炒菜咧就係有啲鮮冬菇啊、蘑菇啊同埋雲耳。呢個最視頻咧就好簡單嘅啫，煮緊飯嘅時候煮湯，煮完湯之後咧跟住炒呢個餸。希望大家中意啊！
Cheers! One more. Cheers. Okay. Cheers, GGB.